when beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes. This Shakespearean maxim may not apply in all cases. For Wande Abimbola, it was indeed the arrival of a genius, a super genius at that also heralded by mortals and deities alike. Born on the 24th of December 1932 at Onsa village, Akimori axis, a distance of about 4 kilometers from Oyo town, reputed to be flagship of the authentic, unadulterated Yoruba culture, Wande's family pedigree helped in no small measure in shaping his worldview.
And we who are originally from Oyo town are just simply proud to be from there, because it's the center of Yoruba culture, and Alafin enhances that, and we all team up with him to ensure that the culture of Yoruba never fades, let alone die.
A man of destiny, Wande chose to live and impart humanity positively, as about 7 children of his parents who came before him died in quick succession, choosing the path of Abiku, Obanjes in Igbo tradition, and Danwabi as the houses call them. These are exceptional beings being born and dying at their own free will, regardless of the sadness and trauma of their parents.
Baba Wande, Ogun Wande Adigun, Ọmọ Àrókò ọmọ Akínsílọ.
Ogun Wande Abimbola is a warrior.
Ní Ìrókò. Akínsílọ́lá lọ jagun ìjàyè pẹ̀lú Ẹ̀gbá. Ó sì win. Ọ̀yọ́ Ìbàdàn kò ń bí. Bàbá wa Ìrókò. Ogun àkọ́kọ́, World War ogun àkọ́kọ́. Ogun àgbáyé àkọ́kọ́.
Our father, called Iroko, fought in many countries during the First World War.
In search of the proverbial golden fleece, the young Wande Abimbola must trek every day from Onsa village to Oyo town, where he began his educational pursuit at Etley Primary School, Idiope, from where he moved on to Doba and later the then Baptist Boys High School, now Olivet Heights.
When we were very young at Olivet and we were very small, it used to be the silo shop of all eyes in the school. Even though it was only 2 years, 3 years ahead, 2 or 3 years ahead of me, he exemplified the best in studentship, in scholarship, in good behavior, in exemplary character. And it was in the best interest of any students to try and get to know him and see how they can emulate him.
At Olivet, it was mandatory for students to go out fishing and win souls for Christ. But for Wande, who had been well schooled in Yoruba traditional religious culture, nothing under the sun could make him abandon his cherished Yoruba culture and tradition.
On Sundays, the authorities would look for some of us who would like to do some preaching in some outstations where village churches where there were no pastors. So I was going to one. In fact, he enrolled also. At that time, he was going to one. One day he said, no more. I said, what is wrong with this man? He said, no more. He wouldn't want to go to and preach anymore, and preach Jesus Christ anymore. I said, this is the only thing you should preach. He said, no. So on Sundays, when I was riding my bicycle to that village school, village church, he would say, okay, bye-bye, say good morning to Jesus Christ and to your members there. In a funny way, you know. Then he just fell away from the Christian way, and he instead of going to church, he will go home. I guess he will go home to refuel. He was going to learn more about Ifa.
Not one to settle for half measure academically, the Awishe of the universe secured admission to the premier university Ibadan, known then as the University College Ibadan, from where he obtained his first degree in history in 1963, topping it up with a master's degree in linguistics at the Northwestern University, Evanston, Illinois, and a doctorate in Yoruba literature at the University of Lagos. The studio's Wande was the first PhD graduate ever produced by the University of First Choice, UNILAG, as it is popularly called.
Well, you would see him carrying a tape recorder every time. Especially when he was at the University of Lagos, he was carrying tape recorder, going to this Ifa house, Ifa man, Ifa expert, then all kinds of recordings on Ifa were in his wallet sack machine there. Not simple things like you carry around now. Then whenever he had any free time, he would be chanting Ifa, thing. We didn't know about that. Well, that was his way. But he demonstrated that without any shame at all. In fact, with lots and lots of pride.
The philosophy which I studied says that no African philosophy. So my problem is to say yes or no. I must study African language. And if African philosophy, every philosophy is expressed in a language. And the only African language I know is Yoruba. The Greek philosophy was expressed in Greek language. British philosophy in Greek language. So I went to study Yoruba thought and Yoruba language. Okay, so the only way I can get in touch with Yoruba language and its philosophy is to go to Yoruba language. And at that time, the most prominent person who was studying Yoruba thought was Wande Abimbola. He was doing his PhD to establish Ifa as a Yoruba system of thought. He was not doing African philosophy, he was not doing philosophy, but he's a Yoruba man. He knows Yoruba, he knows what the Yoruba people say, and he was studying and was then trying to give us what the Yoruba people saw. So, I don't know how I could have escaped reading Ifa. I know that Yoruba have many things. One of the very popular one is Owe. But Owe is not systematized. It's not put in a form. So the only thing I discovered was put into a form was Ifa. And the man who gave us an example was Wande Abimbola. Àwọn òwe Yorùbá mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rìndínlógún, àwọn odù Ifá mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rìndínlógún. Then, what is Odu? Yoruba says. How are they systematized? There are 16 books, each of which has 16 chapters, and what was said there. So the book that àwọn ojú odù mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rìndínlógún, which was written by Wande Abimbola, was my first direct access to Yoruba thought.
Alaye Ifá tutù Orunmila Aye Ifá tutù.
Babalawo, as he is fondly and popularly called, meritoriously became a full-fledged professor in 1976, and ever since has been teaching, mentoring, and evangelizing at the world-class universities across the globe.
He then took special interest in me and decided to be my MA Yoruba Oral Literature supervisor. And that gave me a special opportunity of getting close to him. I remember I had to be in his house every Saturday morning to discuss my topic, which was on Iwure, Yoruba supplicatory, supplicatory and blessing chants. I remember that immediately I told him the topic. He said I should prepare to go to Osogbo and meet with Awo Yemi Elebuban, that he would teach me the art of Yoruba blessing chants.
Certainly not the proverbial prophet without honor in his homestead, Wande Abimbola is held in awe by an army of protege spread all over the corners of the world. Since that chance meeting way back 1974, the Araba of Osogbo land, Ifayemi Elebuibon, and the Awishe of the universe have been spreading the gospel according to Ifa worship to all the nooks and crannies of the globe.
There's a lot of collaboration work that we did together, and when he was the one that there's a lady in New York, we call her Mata Moreno Fega, and I think when Professor Wande traveled to New York, he met this woman. This woman has an organization. I think she's from Puerto Rico. She's head of a cultural organization in New York. Both of them have worked together to organize first International Orisha Congress 1981, when Professor became Vice Chancellor. This brings a lot of devotee Orisha all over the world to Nigeria. Ever since then, there used to be, they take this Congress to another places. He's the international chairman. I'm the Nigerian branch, international chairman for Orisha Congress. We have been doing the meeting every month in order to get ourselves together for the annual overseas travel. So it's a very, very good collaboration.
There's only one great effect in the universe. Another great effect is a counterfeit. Grace, 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 grace.
At the groundbreaking ceremony of the then University of Ife, rechristened Obafemi Awolowo University, in appreciation of the legendary multi-dimensional contributions of the late sage to the socio-political and economic development of not only the defunct Western region, but the country at large. Chief Samuel Ladoke Akitola, former Premier of Western Region, said inter alia, perhaps somewhere here, in their subterranean abode lie buried some great mathematicians, some eminent historians, some outstanding astrologers, and some expert metaphysicists who, at one time or the other, were beacons of light to our great forebears. We cite this institution of higher learning here to perpetuate their sacred memory and to pay homage to knowledge and intellect. Maybe it is their unseen but inspiring presence at this gathering that makes many a lay mind like me, or perhaps yours, to be feeling intuitively learned. Since 1962, Great Ife has been at the vanguard of promoting excellence in education and culture. From headship of Department of African Languages and Literature at the University of Ife, which it did establish, Wande moved up to become the Dean Faculty of Arts and rose phenomenally to the apogee of his academic career as the Vice Chancellor. His tenure, no doubt, till tomorrow remains a reference point.
As Vice Chancellor now, I still meet people who will always refer to Wande Abimbola's period as the most peaceful period in the history of Obafemi Awolowo University. That's a legacy that anybody will envy. So, and he also made administration so simple, so simple, while he was here. And the other thing also that is a legacy that I think can never be erased is the fact that he actually ensured that we live up to the motto of the university, which is for learning and culture. So Professor Wande Abimbola ensured that we were not only emphasizing the issue of learning, we were also emphasizing the issue of culture. During his own time, the university bought a house even in Brazil, and we had so many cultural programs, for this university.
Great Ife has a tradition of radical student unionism. Despite his brushes with the school authority, Adeola Shueton says one day simplistic approach to knotty issues helped most time in dousing tension.
Professor Wande Abimbola was a native man with native wisdom, who was a very progressive thinker, even though he belonged to the conservative, breed of academics at that time, because it was always at loggerhead with radicals, student leaders, and whatever, who our ideological soulmate. But you must give it to him. He was a very good university administrator. Anytime crisis was building, Professor Wande Abimbola would not run away. I will not listen to unnecessary suspicion, anger, allegation against students. He knew that generation of students or youth must behave as youth. But he also tried to get what they were saying. He said one time like that, the student met with the Senate. And Adigute, their president, Yinka was PRO, was addressing the vice chancellor while sitting down. And the professor said, no, that's an insult. You can't, they are not address the vice chancellor sitting down. No, it's not acceptable. Professor Wande Abimbola just looked at the prof and said, Prof, jẹ́ kan jókòó tó bá wá wọn ní ya kọ́tàsì rẹ̀ èmi náà wà gbé eléyìí ò lè àmọ́kọ́ wọn díẹ̀díẹ̀ náà ni. That is, he told the prof, no, don't worry, let's face the issue, let them sit down. And they jokingly said, if they protest now, they are coming to carry anybody, they will pass your lodge, it's my lodge that they will come, and anybody, okay. And that thing settled amicably.
Could it be mere native wisdom and your diplomacy, or is it the Babalawo in him that held people in awe? Abbas Al-Leshiloye was Speaker, Students' Parliament in Wande's days, as they say.
Incidentally, students on campus would think that being a Yoruba man, being a traditionalist, they believe is Babalawo, and they believe he's using juju to talk to them. So anytime he's coming again, because of his diplomatic tendencies, because of the way he marshal his points, using Yoruba culture to get across to us. When they sight him coming and say, okay, let's go and discuss it, they say, oh, no, Babalawo, don't go, don't stay, he will use juju to talk to you. No. So each time, and at times when it's coming like that, the students will stand up, Babalawo, Mowa Bebe, Alugwiri, oh ni mama, and so on and so forth. They will be singing for him, and he will just calm them down.
Opefe Itimi explains why people must not only listen but obey when their wisher speaks, citing an Oduifa or Yekulugbe to back this up.
Tumisi ní ṣe ọmọ èwí ṣẹrẹ ní ọmọ oṣù ọ̀sọ́ ọ̀rọ̀wọ̀ ń lọ́mọ ìyá mi òṣòròǹgà lọ́rùn ni wọ́n ti ń pín ọpọ́n ìgbà tí wọ́n pẹ́ lẹ́yìn
la fi ń dẹ́bọ nídẹ̀yìn wọn nígbà tí wọ́n dé wọ́n náà wà tá à ń dẹ́bọ nídẹ̀yìn wọn wọ́n a ní àwa túmísí ọmọ èwí àwa ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ ọmọ oṣù àti ọ̀ṣọ́ ọ̀rọ̀wọ̀ ọmọ ìyá mi òṣòròǹgà ni wọ́n ní báwo la ṣe ń dá a ní tó bá hù kan a ó tẹ méjì tó bá hù méjì a ó tẹ kan wọ́n ní kí là ń pè a ní ọ̀yẹ̀kúlógbè wọ́n ní kí àwa kó máa jẹ́ èwí awo òde ìsálayé wọ́n láwọn ó máa jẹ́ ẹ̀gbà awo òde ọ̀run èyí èwí ayé bá ti wí òun lẹ̀gbà ọ̀run gbà. If you look at that corpus very critically, you will find out the reason why Professor Wande Abimbola was given the title of Awise Agbaye. He was given that title because it's a personification of the original Orunmila.
Holder of many traditional titles, Wande cherishes the Awise title conferred on him by the immediate past Oni of Ife, the debonair Oba Okwade Shijuade Olubushe II, on the recommendations of all the Babalawos in Yoruba land. A culture connoisseur, Wande speaks, eats, drinks the culture of his people. In fact, the very best example of a Yoruba man.
When you talk about culture, you are talking about the conduct, behavior, values, and tradition, history of a people. If you are looking for anybody that can articulate these attributes, you can't find it in a better person than Professor Abimbola, Wande Abimbola. And he has taught me and people of my own generation a lot of things.
Show me a man diligent in his work, he shall sit among kings, not mere men. Though a die-hard traditionalist, Wande is at home with adherents of other faiths, so much so that he cultivated the friendship of the papacy.
Some 4 or 5 years ago, he was the only African invited by the Pope to Rome to meet with other world leaders and religious leaders. It's documented on film, on video. That he, as an individual, is the only African invited by the Pope. It's a great pointer to his eminence around the world. You may not even know that Abimbola is not American, but today he's an American. They got that citizenship by reputation. He was recommended by 10 countries to America to be so named, to be so approved as a citizen of America.
If the present Senate and House of Representatives are allegedly characterized by allegations of corruption, self-centeredness, and humongous salaries that are not in sync with economic realities, Wande is ever proud to say he did not go into politics for pecuniary motives. So much so that he was often derided as a senator that had nothing to show for it, even as Senate Majority Leader. Good name to a man of integrity is better than silver or gold. Kindness is like a baton. If you receive it, pass it on. That has been the philosophy of Wande, a committed family man, father not only to his biological children, but his extended family and whoever crosses his path.
He's just a lucky man. To have a second wife or third wife, it's a matter of luck. And I remember when he first started, when he had the second wife, there would be naturally some rift between the first and the second wife, but that was written off, and that went down with time. Then his family overgrew all these squabbles, and they got many children, and the children are in accord, to the best of my knowledge. They're in accord with one another, and Basically, he's a lucky man. Not many people with 2, 3, 4 wives are that lucky.
Wande Abimbola is unarguably not the only Yoruba scholar of distinction. But what is it about the culture colossus that stands him out?
He was born to this tradition. If you take a look at Wande Abimbola, it's different from all other his colleagues. Some of his colleagues, they did the research that he did, but they don't practice. You know, Akinwumi Sola, when he was alive, he did a research on the Shango. I was one of the people that helped Akinwumi when he did the research on Shango. I gave him the essay file that related to Shango. But Akinwumi is not traditionalist. A lot of other like that. Professor Adeboye Babalola did his work around this Ogun. But Adeboye is not a devotee of Ogun. They don't take it seriously like him. It is only one day because his background. All of these people also, they come from the traditional background too. But they don't, maybe they were ashamed or something, or hypocrisy, I don't know. But only one day that is, he is able to publicly say, I'm a Babalawo, apart from the academic education that he has. He's the only one.
Professor Wande Abimbola's international commitment is on the increase as he is in hot demand at world-class institutions the world over. But, as he soon keep asking Africa's first Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, when is the chicken coming home to roost?
It is stupid to divide the world into living and non-living things. There is no such thing as a non-living thing. Anything that is on the surface of this earth or inside the earth is alive. The earth itself is a woman, and she is our mother. Unless and until human persons grapple with the fact that we are part and parcel of nature, we are no higher than nature, this earth on which we live and who nourishes us will always be at pain. Every day we inflict pain, horrible pain on our mother.